Good morning. I want to share something with you that I read in my devotions the other day. It's not much, but when I read this particular verse, a big smile spread across my face, and I really feel like it's what the Lord wanted me to share with you this week. I read it over and over. You see, the night before I read this verse, I was talking to the Lord about something, and I'm a bit embarrassed to share it, but like I said, I feel like it's what I'm supposed to share, so I'm going to do it. But I was talking to the Lord. I don't think I was complaining, and I hope I wasn't anyways. And I was telling him how it was discouraging sometimes that my husband and we've been married for almost 20 years, and we've lived here in California, and we don't own a home yet. I can't go into too many details, but the housing market here in California is just ridiculously expensive. And when it was a little more affordable, my husband and I were not in any position financially to be able to afford a home. Well, now we've been paying off our cars and our debt and just trying to get completely debt free, and we're close. And now that we could possibly soon start looking for a home, the houses are just through the roof. It's ridiculous. So I was saying to the Lord, I don't know if we'll ever be able to own our own home here in California. It's just so expensive to live in this area. Well, fast forward to the next morning, and I was doing my devotions, and I read these verses. Matthew chapter 19, verse 27 through 30. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? And Jesus said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me, in the regeneration when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Now this next verse is what really got my attention and made me smile. And every one that hath forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive an hundredfold, and shall inherit everlasting life. But many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first. Now, I have read those verses many times, but I've never really caught or paid attention to that very beginning, that first part, the part that talks about forsaking a house for Jesus' sake. I love it when the Lord does that, when he shows you just what you need in his word, right when you need to hear it. I've always thought about missionaries, forsaking their family and their lands and stuff, and people like that when I read those verses. And I'm sure it means them as well. But I really felt that morning that the Lord just gave me a nudge and said, look, I put that there for you today to read. The Lord knows that my husband and I have been called to the Bay Area of California, and the Lord knows how much it costs to own a home in this area. And he said to me that morning, if you have forsaken a house for the sake of serving me where I have called you, then you will receive an hundredfold in heaven. Do you know what that means? That means I will receive 100 times of whatever it is that I have forsaken, in this case, a house. I read and I reread that verse, and it started my imagination running. And I'm not even going to tell you all the things my imagination dreamed up because, frankly, I really have no way to prove that any of it's true or any of it's biblical. But it does say 100-fold. So think about it. What a mansion the Lord has for me in heaven. So much more than anything I could ever dream of having on this earth. And there's no curse there in heaven, so there will be no dust to clean out of all those rooms, no toilets to wash, dishes to wash, dirt on the floors, laundry. Can you imagine? Anyway, I read on to verse 30, and it says, But many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first. Now, I probably can't prove that exactly what the Bible means in this verse, the way that I think it is, but this is what I think it means. Those who have given up nothing really on this earth to serve the Lord will be last in line to get their mansion keys. Those people here on earth that have huge, beautiful homes, and they drive the nicest cars that money can buy. They have the latest designer clothes. They're Christians. They love the Lord. They go to church, but they really haven't given up anything, we say, to serve him. They haven't given up a good paying job to teach for minimum wage or less at a small Christian school, or given up a good job to be a pastor or an assistant at a church making a small wage. They haven't given up paychecks when bills were too tight to make ends meet in the ministry. It seems like they have it all. And I want to add here that there is nothing wrong with having those things, a home and a car. If the Lord has provided for you to get those and blessed you with it, praise the Lord. There's nothing wrong with that. But I will say that I believe in heaven that the first in line for the keys to those mansions up there will be those who have given one up here on earth. I believe those who have sacrificed on the earth for the Lord's sake will be astounded at what God has in store for them in heaven. I have not seen nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man the things which God hath prepared for them that love him. 1 Corinthians 2:9. I would 10,000 times rather give up a tiny little crowded, overpriced house here in the Bay Area and live in a 100 times better one in heaven than to stop serving the Lord here so that I could get a better paying job and afford a nice home down here on earth. Just think of that. Compare those two. 40 to maybe 60 years here on earth in a home, or all eternity in 100 times better mansion. And not to mention, in heaven, I wouldn't have to work endless hours every week. I wouldn't have to sit in traffic for hours on end and rarely see my family to pay for that house that I hardly have time to be in because I have to work so much to pay for it. Just think, my mansion in heaven is already paid for. And I want to say here, I don't believe that all mansions in heaven are the same. That's my personal opinion. But in these verses, it seems kind of clear to me that if you have given up something here on the earth to serve the Lord, you will receive much more in heaven than those who did not give up anything and seem to have it all here on this earth. Now, that's my opinion, and I can't prove all that. But I don't know if any of this was a help to you at all today, but I do know that those verses really helped me with my perspective on things, and God really spoke to my heart through those verses. And I hope that just something that I said today will encourage you to just keep on serving. God is watching, and he sees your service. He sees any sacrifice you are making for him, and he has so much more in store in heaven waiting for you than you could ever imagine. I'll see you next month.